the age of Hamiyya, and that is the identity politics of the pre-Islamic Arabs. Hamiyya is to get angry. It's to rage. It's to go out and tear things down. It's to go and, if somebody kills one of my tribal members, I'll go out and find anybody from his tribe and kill him. It doesn't matter whether he did it or not. That's irrelevant. I'll go and find any Danish person because some Dane insulted my prophet. Doesn't matter if that Dane agreed with it or disagreed with it. I'm not even going to ask him. You're Danish? Strike him down. That's Jahiliyyah. That is the essence of what our Prophet ﷺ came to remove from the world. It's the complete negation of Islam. And that's the Islam that I embrace. That's the Islam that I follow. And that's the Islam that I want to die on. It's not this other thing that I don't recognize. And the Quran says when the people of disbelief were opposing the Prophet with their aggression, and their hearts were filled with this hamiyya, حمية الجاهلية فأنزل الله سكينته على رسوله وعلى المؤمنين. At that point, Allah brought a tranquility upon the hearts of the believers and upon the heart of the Prophet. Sakina is the antidote for hamiyya. Tranquility is the antidote for hostility. That does not mean people don't have a right to defend themselves. It doesn't mean we have a right don't have a right to defend the honor of our Prophet. Absolutely we do, and we should, but it has to be done in accordance with the teachings of our Prophet. You cannot honor the Prophet by dishonoring his teachings. To go and destroy a Danish embassy has nothing to do with Islam. The Prophet ﷺ honored the ambassadors. He would never kill an ambassador or harm an ambassador. It was the essence of his teaching, was the rule of law, social order. These were things he did not come to disrupt, but came actually to instill in the hearts of people, not so that they feared the law, but actually they interiorized the law. They followed the law because they recognized the right of the law. And so I really feel it's very important. I feel in some ways, I want to say to the Danish people, that I am sorry that your flag was desecrated. Because that is wrong. And I don't care what was done. The people of Denmark did not do anything wrong. And I do not believe in collective guilt. Because there's people that means a lot to them. They're proud of their country, and there are many reasons why they should be proud. But I also feel that this government has to recognize the sensitivities of 1/5 of the world's population, and the fact that rudeness should never be defended. Maybe it shouldn't be criminalized. That's for the courts here to decide whether that goes under the incitement of hatred or not. That's for the courts to decide. These are not corrupt courts. They're good courts. They have good justices. They need to decide that. But what needs to be affirmed is mutual respect, cooperation, a recognition that the dignity of people should be honored, that there's no room for gratuitous insults. There's no right to spit on people. And what was done in those newspapers is far worse in the hearts of Muslims than ever being spit on. There are Muslims that would rather be killed than hear their Prophet denigrated. And that's the absolute truth. And one of the great Sahaba who was captured by the polytheists, and they were torturing him, and they said, wouldn't you rather now that Muhammad was in your place and you were free? And he said, Wallahi, by God, I would not want even a thorn to penetrate his blessed foot. That man preferred to be tortured himself. At the Battle of Uhud, there were companions of the Prophet that were jumping in the air to catch the arrows being fired upon the Prophet. Not trained by Secret Service to go against their natural impulse for self-preservation, but just out of love. And that love might be difficult for Danish people to understand in an age when religion has fallen on hard times in this country, but it's not difficult for Muslims to understand. And we need more understanding. And this should be an opportunity, because a crisis is inevitably an opportunity. And the Chinese ideogram for crisis is the same ideogram for opportunity. And so we have an immense opportunity here to understand each other at a deeper level. And that's what we're promoting. We're promoting mutual understanding. I believe in the verse of the Quran, كُلُّ مَا أَوْقَدَ نَارًا لِلْحَرْبِ أَطْفَأَهَا اللَّهُ. Every time they try to inflame the fires of war, God put those fires out. And we should be firefighters. We should be trying to put out these fires, not to flame them, not to throw fuel on them, but to try to put them out so that we can understand each other. Our Prophet in that khutbah in Medina said, Afshu salam, spread peace, wa'at'imu ta'am, and feed each other, feed food, feed people, because that's one way that you come to appreciate each other. If you want a good meal here in Copenhagen, there are people that go to a Moroccan restaurant or an Indian restaurant to have a Muslim bajin. Why haven't we made our religion as delicious as our food? Really, why haven't we made this religion as palatable as the food that Muslims make, which is good food? The reason Arabs love Danish cheese is because the Danes have worked out how to make Arab cheese better than the Arabs. That's why. And there's actually an argument historically that the Vikings learned Muslim cheese making in Spain. I'm not making that up. Because the Danes were actually defeated by the Spanish Muslims of Portugal. So there was a time when they did fight, but they ended up teaching them how to make cheese. And they came back. And now there's a reasonably good livelihood here. And that's another reason, tijara. The Quran says, لَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not devour your wealth amongst you vainly. إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَ تِجَارَةً عَنْ تَرَاضٍ مِنْكُمْ. But let it be commerce that is mutually agreed upon between you. And then the Quran says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ لَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Don't throw names at each other. Don't kill each other. I mean, these are the commandments of our book. So I really feel like we need to be spreading more peace. I just want to conclude with a description of the Prophet. This was in a book that I wrote about the Prophet, Content of Character, which is ethical sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. But I would like just to read to you a description for those of you who aren't Muslim, to maybe get... This description came from somebody who was very close to him. He said his face was luminous as the full moon. He was taller than average, but not excessive in height. He had wavy hair, which he parted and which did not go beyond his shoulders. And he had fair skin and a wide brow. His eyes were black, his beard full, and his nose fine and aquiline. His cheeks were firm, and his teeth were brilliantly white with a small gap between the front ones. His physique was supple and light, with a full chest and broad shoulders. His legs were powerful, his fingers slender, and his muscles fine and sinewy. When he spoke, he was always brief and reflective. He spoke when he saw benefit and spent long periods in silent contemplation. His speech was comprehensive, being neither wordy nor laconic. He had a mild temperament and was never harsh nor cruel, coarse nor rude. He expressed gratitude for everything given to him, no matter how insignificant. When he spoke, his companions lowered their heads as if birds were perched upon them. When he was silent, they felt free to speak. He never criticized food, nor praised it excessively. He never uttered obscenities, nor did he find fault in people. He did not flatter people, but praised them when appropriate.